Have you ever gone to bed feeling fine, only to wake up and suddenly not be able to speak clearly, lift your arm, or stand without wobbling? No pain. No warning. Just a terrifying shift overnight. As a brain doctor, I've seen this nightmare unfold more times than I wish to count. And not always because of smoking, poor diet, or high cholesterol. Sometimes, it's from something far more unexpected, something many of my patients believed was helping them: vitamins. Take Margaret, 67, active, sharp, the kind of person who never missed a morning walk. She took her supplements religiously, thinking she was protecting her brain. But one morning, she collapsed in her kitchen, victim of a stroke we later traced back to a single nutrient imbalance. Many seniors are unknowingly raising their stroke risk with over-the-counter vitamins. These are supposed to help us, right? But the wrong vitamin, at the wrong dose, or even the wrong timing, can quietly put your brain in danger. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 specific vitamins that could be sabotaging your health while you sleep, without you even realizing it. Vitamin number 5 is the one I worry about the most. It's commonly used, sounds harmless, but it can thin your blood to dangerous levels before sunrise. I'll get to that soon. But first, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever stopped to question whether your supplements could be doing more harm than good? Type 1 in the comments if you're curious to learn more. Type 0 if this is completely new to you. And if you or someone you care about is focused on staying sharp, steady, and safe, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to PureNutrition for science-backed, senior-focused tips that matter. Let's begin with the one that shocks most people first: vitamin D. Yes, the same sunshine vitamin everyone says is good for your bones, your mood, and your immune system. And they're right, in moderation. But what almost no one tells you is that when taken in high doses, or worse, taken before bed, it can quietly raise your risk of stroke while you sleep. I've seen it happen, and I wish I hadn't. Take Mr. Walter. A 74-year-old retired Navy vet. Sharp mind, strict routine, always on top of his health. Every morning, he'd line up his pills like a drill sergeant: multivitamin, fish oil, and a 10,000 IU vitamin D capsule he picked up at the pharmacy. He was just trying to protect his bones. But one morning, his wife found him slumped on the couch. His words were jumbled. His right arm limp. He'd had a stroke in the middle of the night. His labs later told the story: dangerously high calcium, sky-high blood pressure, arteries as stiff as pipes. The trigger? Vitamin D toxicity. When you take large doses of vitamin D, especially without a doctor monitoring your levels, it tells your body to absorb more calcium from your food and supplements. That might sound good at first, but your body doesn't know where to put all that extra calcium. So what does it do? It shoves it into your bloodstream. Then into your arteries. Over time, those arteries stiffen and narrow, just like Mr. Walter's. And once that happens, it only takes one bad night. Maybe you're dehydrated, you slept poorly, or your blood pressure spiked at 3 a.m., for a clot to travel straight to your brain. No chest pain. No warning. Just silence, then disaster. And what makes this even scarier? Many over-the-counter vitamin D supplements in the US contain way more than most older adults actually need: 5,000 to even 10,000 IUs. And people take them daily, thinking more is better. But studies now show that even 2,000 IU daily may be too much for someone who isn't deficient. Especially if you're also taking calcium or certain heart medications. Let me say this as clearly as I can. If you're taking vitamin D, you must get your blood levels checked regularly. And always take it in the morning, not before bed. So let me ask you, do you know how many IUs are in your vitamin D supplement? Type D in the comments if you're currently taking it. Let's talk about this, openly, honestly. And if this gave you pause, if it made you think twice about your own routine, hit that like button. Not for me, but so this message reaches someone who may need it before it's too late. Coming up next is vitamin number 4. You'll find it in plenty of multivitamins, often marketed as heart healthy. But for some people, especially older adults, it could be doing the exact opposite. Let's talk about vitamin E. You've probably heard it called the heart helper. It's marketed to improve circulation, sharpen memory, support the immune system, and even give your skin a youthful glow. Sounds like a win-win, right? That's why so many folks over 60 take it daily, without a second thought. But here's what you won't see on the bottle label. High doses of vitamin E, especially when combined with common heart medications, can thin your blood so much it increases your risk of hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding inside the brain. And sadly, I've seen the aftermath firsthand. One case I'll never forget, Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, 81. A retired librarian from Ohio. Bright, articulate, loved her crossword puzzles and historical fiction. She had a minor heart valve issue and was on warfarin, a routine blood thinner prescribed by her cardiologist. Everything was going well. Her INR levels were stable. Her checkups were always solid. Then she saw a magazine ad for a natural vitamin E supplement, 800 IU per capsule. She figured, why not? It might help my memory. And it's natural, so it must be safe. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the ER with a pounding headache, confusion, and nausea. A brain scan revealed the worst, a hemorrhagic stroke, a bleed deep inside her brain. Not from high blood pressure. Not from trauma. But from a perfect storm, vitamin E acting as an additional blood thinner on top of her warfarin. Her blood became too thin to clot. One small vessel in her brain couldn't take the pressure, and ruptured. She survived, but everything changed. She now walks with a cane. Her memory? Not what it used to be. And what she told me still echoes in my mind. I just wanted to help myself. I didn't know I was doing harm. That's what makes this so dangerous. So many seniors have no idea. Here's what you need to know. Vitamin E, especially above 200 IU, acts like a natural anticoagulant. It slows your body's ability to form clots. If you're already on medications like aspirin, Plavix, or warfarin, this can quietly raise your risk of internal bleeding, especially in the brain, where even a tiny hemorrhage can change your life in seconds. And here's the kicker. The recommended daily intake for older adults? Just 15 milligrams, that's about 22 IU. But most store-bought vitamin E capsules contain 200, 400, even 1000 IU. No warning labels. No pharmacist guidance. And many folks take them for years thinking they're doing something good. Mrs. Evelyn is far from alone. So if you're taking vitamin E right now, especially if you're on any heart or blood thinning medication, please talk to your doctor. Don't wait for symptoms. Don't assume natural means safe. Your brain deserves better. And if this story moved you, please like this video so more people can hear Evelyn's story and avoid her fate. Now, if the risk of a brain bleed wasn't enough, there's another vitamin many people take for nerve health and energy that could actually damage your nerves, sometimes permanently. Let's talk about vitamin number 3, and it might be one you've taken for years without knowing the risk. Vitamin B6. Walk down any supplement aisle and you'll see it, bright labels claiming nerve support, brain booster, energy enhancer. It sounds promising, especially if you've felt a little off lately, maybe some tingling in your fingers, or forgetfulness here and there. But here's the truth most seniors never hear: too much vitamin B6 can actually harm your nerves, and in some cases, the damage may be permanent. Let me introduce you to Mr. Harold Jenkins. 76 years old. Retired truck driver from Kansas. Salt of the earth kind of guy. He came into my clinic with numb feet, tingling in his hands, and trouble keeping his balance. At first, he chalked it up to aging, until he started falling. Once. Then again. The third time, he hit his head on the bathroom floor. I reviewed his blood work, his meds, then his supplements, and there it was. A so-called nerve support formula he'd been faithfully taking for over a year. The label said it would support memory and circulation. But each pill had 100 milligrams of B6, and he was taking 2 per day. That's 200 milligrams daily, over 10 times the safe upper limit for older adults. And here's the scary part. Vitamin B6 doesn't just pass through your system like some other vitamins. It builds up in your body over time. Especially in older adults. And when B6 builds up too much, it starts to strip the protective coating around your nerves, like peeling the insulation off electrical wires. The result? Tingling. Numbness. Weak muscles. Balance problems. Even tremors, brain fog, and confusion. What makes it even harder to catch is how slow it creeps in. Most people think it's arthritis. Or age. Or maybe even early dementia. But in reality, it could be a form of vitamin toxicity, caused by a pill that promised to help but slowly made things worse. Harold was lucky. We caught it in time and stopped the supplement. The progression halted, but the damage was done. He now uses a cane. He doesn't drive anymore. And I'll never forget what he told me: I just wanted to protect my brain. I didn't realize I was poisoning it. Let me be clear. Vitamin B6 is important, but only in small amounts. Most older adults only need about 2 to 10 milligrams per day, and that includes what's already in your food. But many of the supplements labeled brain, nerve, or energy support. They contain 50, 100, even 200 milligrams per tablet. And no one's warning folks that this is way over the line. So here's what you can do right now. Go check your supplements. Look at the B6 content. Know your numbers. If you're taking anything marketed for nerves or brain support, there's a good chance B6 is in there, and possibly too much of it. And if you or someone you love has taken a supplement like that, type B6 in the comments. Let's open this up. You never know who else you might help by starting the conversation. Coming up next. Let's talk about vitamin number 2. Vitamin A. If you're like many older adults, you've probably been told that vitamin A is essential for good eyesight. Maybe you've taken it for your immune system, for smoother skin, or because someone once said it could help you age more gracefully. And while vitamin A is important in small amounts, here's the part almost no one tells you, especially if you're over 60. Too much vitamin A doesn't just fade away. It builds up, quietly, over time, and that buildup can silently damage your brain. Let me introduce you to Ms. Dorothy Simmons, 79. A retired piano teacher from Oregon, full of grace and wit. She loved her students, taught from her living room, and prided herself on living independently. But then the headaches started. At first, she thought it was just stress or bad sleep. Then came the blurry vision, the dizziness, the slurred speech. Her family feared the worst, a stroke. But the scans told a different story: no clot, no bleed. Instead, we found something far less expected but just as dangerous: elevated intracranial pressure, too much pressure inside her skull. Her spinal fluid was backing up. Small veins in her brain were under strain. The cause? Vitamin A toxicity. Ms. had been faithfully taking a skin and eye supplement for over 5 years. Every day. The label? 10,000 IU of vitamin A, per capsule. She didn't know that was nearly triple the safe daily limit for someone her age. Here's why this matters. Vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means your body stores it, in your liver, your tissues, even your brain. It doesn't flush out like vitamin C or B vitamins. And as we get older, our liver slows down. So that buildup? It happens faster. Too much vitamin A can lead to a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, which literally means false brain tumor. The symptoms? Headaches, vision changes, nausea, dizziness, even long-term vision loss or memory problems. It feels like a stroke. It acts like a stroke. But it's caused by pressure, not a clot. And here's the trap many fall into. Most multivitamins already contain the full recommended amount of vitamin A. But people add on extra skin or eye formulas, unaware they're stacking the dose to dangerous levels. The safe upper limit for older adults? Around 2,500 to 3,000 IU per day, and even then, only under medical supervision. But online and store-bought supplements often contain 5,000 to 10,000 IU or more per capsule. Take that daily for months, or years, and the damage adds up before you even notice. Ms. is improving, but it's a long road. She now needs regular eye pressure monitoring, balance therapy, and can't drive alone anymore. She told me, with tears in her eyes, "I thought I was doing something good for my body. I never imagined it could hurt my brain." And that's exactly why I share her story. Not to scare you, but to empower you. Because when you have the facts, you can protect yourself and your independence. Check your supplement labels. Look for retinol or vitamin A and add up the total across all your products. If you've ever taken a high-dose eye, skin, or anti-aging vitamin, type A in the comments. Let's talk about it, so we can keep each other safe. Now, coming in at number 1, and trust me, this one might surprise you, let's talk about niacin, also known as vitamin B3. You've probably seen it on supplement shelves labeled as cholesterol support or heart healthy. Some doctors even prescribe it. It's in fortified cereals, energy drinks, and countless over-the-counter supplements. But here's what you're almost never told, especially if you're over 60. In high doses, niacin can cause sudden spikes and crashes in your blood pressure, trigger heart rhythm problems, and, yes, even lead to a stroke. Let me tell you about Mr. Frank Miller, 82. A retired postman from Florida, full of energy and heart. But he started noticing something strange. Each morning, he'd feel his face flush red hot. His chest would thump like a drum. He'd get dizzy, lightheaded, almost like he was about to pass out. His wife thought it was anxiety. His son blamed it on blood pressure meds. But no one had checked his supplements. That's where we found the real culprit. A heart-healthy over-the-counter supplement labeled supports cholesterol and circulation. Sounds harmless, right? But on the back? 1,000 milligrams of niacin per serving. And he was taking 2 servings a day, that's 2,000 milligrams daily, more than 60 times what most seniors actually need. Here's the science behind what happened to Frank, and what could happen to anyone. Niacin dilates your blood vessels. That's why some people get flushed or warm after taking it. But that's only the beginning. After dilation, your blood vessels can snap back and constrict suddenly, a kind of rebound effect. This sudden tightening raises your blood pressure, stresses your heart, and reduces blood flow to your brain. If that sounds dangerous, it is. Over time, this pressure roller coaster is like tapping on a cracked windshield. Eventually, it shatters. For Frank, that moment came one morning when his words started slurring mid-sentence. He sat down. A few minutes later, he felt normal again. But what he experienced was a transient ischemic attack, a mini-stroke. A warning shot from his brain. And the hardest part was breaking the news to him. Frank, that daily vitamin you took to protect your heart, was actually putting your brain at risk. He's not alone. Many older adults take high-dose niacin without realizing it, especially in flush-free or extended-release forms. These seem gentler, but they can still raise blood pressure, trigger atrial fibrillation, and even affect blood sugar. Here's what you need to know. If you're over 60, anything over 50 milligrams of niacin per day should only be taken under medical supervision. Check your supplement labels. Look out for words like cholesterol support, cardiovascular, or flush-free niacin. They may sound friendly, but they can quietly push your system into dangerous territory. Frank is recovering now. He's off niacin. No permanent damage, thank goodness. But I'll never forget what he told me. "Doc, I thought I was doing everything right. I didn't know I was gambling with my brain." And that's the truth for so many well-meaning people. If you've ever taken niacin, or know someone who has, type B3 in the comments. Let's open up this conversation, because your story might just save someone else's life. Now that we've walked through 5 common vitamins, each with the power to quietly harm the brain, you might be wondering, so what should I do instead? Or maybe even, what should I eat? And that's such a great question. Because the truth is, your body wasn't built to live off of pills. It was built to thrive on real food, whole, natural, nourishing food that your brain can recognize, absorb, and use exactly how it needs to. No confusion. No overload. Just balance. Let me tell you about someone I think of often, Mrs. Margaret Wilson, 73. She was a retired school principal from Arizona. Sharp, organized, and proud of how much she was doing for her health. The day I met her, she pulled out an entire drawer of supplements: vitamin D for her bones, vitamin E for her heart, AB complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, a multivitamin, and 2 more bottles labeled brain support. She looked at me and said, "I'm doing everything right, Doc." But the truth was, she didn't feel right. She was dizzy in the mornings, her balance was off, and her blood pressure was creeping up for no clear reason. Something wasn't adding up. So we tried something simple: we cleared the clutter. One by one, we took away the unnecessary pills and replaced them with real food. No extreme diet. No complicated rules. Just honest meals, built from ingredients that support the body naturally. Her breakfast? It looked like this. A boiled egg for clean protein. Half an avocado for healthy fats. A slice of whole grain toast for steady energy. A handful of blueberries loaded with antioxidants. And a glass of room temperature water to gently rehydrate her brain. Sometimes a few almonds or walnuts. That's it. Nothing fancy, just real food. And within weeks, things changed. The dizziness faded. Her blood pressure leveled out. Her energy came back. And one day, she looked at me and said, "You know, my mind feels clearer than it has in years." It worked because her brain wasn't starving for megadoses. It was starving for balance, hydration, healthy fats, steady fuel, and the kind of nutrients that only whole food can offer. Some of the best foods for older adults include leafy greens like spinach and kale, rich in folate and antioxidants. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, full of omega-3s to protect brain cells. Berries, packed with polyphenol that fight inflammation. Nuts and seeds for vitamin E and magnesium. Whole grains to keep blood sugar stable and support circulation. And remember, these foods don't just protect your brain, they support your heart, bones, mood, and mobility, too. With every bite, you're not just eating, you're healing. So here's your gentle wake-up call: awareness is your most powerful medicine. At this stage of life, every little choice carries more weight. Even well-intended habits, like taking vitamins, can backfire if we're not paying attention. That's why understanding, not just consuming, is what protects your brain. You don't need to fear vitamins, but you do need to respect them. Read the labels. Ask your doctor. And most of all, listen to your body, especially when it whispers. If something in this video made you pause or reflect, I'd love to know, what's one small change you're going to make starting tomorrow? Let me know in the comments. And if this helped you, even a little, please give it a like, it helps others find it, too. Don't forget to subscribe to PureNutrition, so we can keep learning, growing, and staying strong together. You are not alone on this journey. And no matter your age, it's never too late to take back control of your health.